An animal internet sounds ridiculous, until you realize animals are already sending messages through the air, through the ground, through smells, sounds, dances, warning calls, and even other animals watching them. That dog barking at the window, that crow screaming from a rooftop, that ant walking in a perfect line, they are not just making noise. They may be using tiny pieces of a network. So could animals ever build their own internet? The answer is stranger than yes or no. Let's break it down fast, because nature already invented some very suspicious prototypes. Discovery 1, the smell network. You have seen ants walking in a line. It looks simple. Almost boring. One ant finds food, walks back home, and suddenly an entire army follows the same invisible road. This sounds normal. It isn't. Ants leave chemical trails called pheromones. Other ants smell the trail and follow it. If the food is good, more ants reinforce the path. If the food disappears, the trail fades. That is not the internet, but it is weirdly close to a search engine made of smells. The colony is sharing information without anyone speaking. No leader gives a speech. No ant sends a memo. They just update the world around them. In theory, that is one basic ingredient of the internet, a message that other members can read later. In practice, it is slow, local, and smells like ant business. But the idea matters. Because before an animal can invent an internet, it first needs a way to leave information behind. Ants already do that. Tiny legs. Tiny brains. Suspiciously organized. Discovery 2, the airborne group chat. Now think about birds. One bird spots danger, makes a sharp alarm call, and suddenly every bird nearby reacts. Most people never notice this, but animals often listen to the warnings of other species too. A squirrel alarm call can alert birds. Bird alarm calls can alert mammals. One nervous creature can accidentally become the neighborhood security system. You know the type. That one animal that sees danger and immediately tells everyone. Nature has many of them. This is where it gets interesting. An internet is not just about sending a message. It is about a network. One signal travels, others receive it, and behavior changes. Animal alarm calls can spread information fast. Danger here. Predator there. Move now. The catch is that most of these messages are simple. Animals are not usually saying, "There is a suspicious human in blue shoes holding a sandwich near the trash can." They are more often saying, "Danger." Still, that is powerful. Because a network does not have to be complicated to be useful. Sometimes one urgent message is enough to save a life. Discovery 3, the dance that gives directions. Bees take this to another level. A honeybee can return to the hive and perform a waggle dance that tells other bees where food is. Not just food exists, but roughly which direction to fly and how far to go. That is deeply strange. A tiny insect is using movement as a map. Imagine coming home from a restaurant, and instead of texting your friends the address, you shake your body in the kitchen until they understand the location. We would call that concerning. Bees call it communication. This matters because an internet needs shared rules. A signal only works if others know how to read it. The bee dance is like a living code. The body moves. The hive interprets. The workers respond. But there is a catch. The bees cannot easily store huge libraries of information. They cannot build a bee Wikipedia. They cannot search best flowers near me and read reviews from angry bees. Their system is brilliant but narrow. It solves survival problems, not curiosity problems. And that difference is huge. Discovery 4, the smart animal problem. Now we get to the animals that feel dangerously close. Crows. Parrots. Dolphins. Elephants. Apes. These animals can remember faces, solve problems, learn from each other, and sometimes use tools. Once you see it, you cannot unsee it. A crow dropping nuts on a road so cars crack them open does not look like a random bird. It looks like a tiny criminal engineer. Some animals clearly pass useful information through social learning. Young animals watch older animals. They copy tricks. They learn routes, food choices, hunting methods, and sometimes even local habits. That is culture. Simple culture, but still culture. And culture is important because the internet is not just wires and screens. It is shared knowledge. But here is the problem. Inventing an internet requires more than intelligence. You need tools. You need stable symbols. You need storage. You need energy. You need a reason to connect many minds across distance. A dolphin may be smart, but dolphins do not have hands, fire, metal, keyboards, or customer support. Honestly, lucky them. So intelligence alone is not enough. You need the right body and the right environment. Discovery 5. Why humans crossed the line. Humans did something unusual. We did not just communicate. We stored communication outside our bodies. Marks on stone. Writing on paper. Signals through wires. Data through satellites. That was the real jump. Our internet is not just talking. It is memory that survives after we leave the room. Most animals communicate in the moment. Right now. Food here. Danger there. Follow me. Stay away. Human communication escaped the moment. That is the difference. In theory, if another animal had human-level tool use, long-term symbols, social pressure, and the ability to build machines, maybe it could create something internet-like. In practice, no animal today seems close to building a digital internet. But that does not mean animals are offline. They are plugged into older networks. Smell networks. Sound networks. Social networks. Forest networks of warnings, trails, calls, dances, and learned behavior. Not the internet as we know it, but the beginning of the idea. So could animals ever invent their own internet? Maybe not with screens. Maybe not with cables. Maybe not with angry comment sections. But nature has already built the first version. A world where information moves between living things, changes behavior, and helps creatures survive. The core idea is this. The internet did not begin with computers. It began with the need to know what another mind knows. And somewhere outside your window, an animal may already be sending a message. The real question is, are we smart enough to read it? Subscribe for more strange animal behavior explained fast.